here to do a quick video, and I'm doing this as a non-affiliated affiliate, if you will. And I'm actually talking about insurance, specifically business insurance, and a set of circumstances that happened to myself and a co-founder of mine as we were moving into a location. And specifically, we have a startup, and as a startup, we were getting a lease for a new space, office space that's about 1,200 square feet. And in getting the lease for this office space, we went through negotiations. We got our abatement. We got the everything was set up properly. It's a 3-year lease where it escalates 3% per year after the first year. Everything seemed to go pretty smoothly. We got to the point where we now had to physically get the insurance because, well, let me back up. One of the more interesting things is when you're leasing a property, especially businesses leasing a property, retail space specifically in this case, is that you are required to have insurance not just for your business but for the company from which you're leasing. Essentially, they are co-insurance within that process. So we learned more about what it takes to actually get the co-insurance for the business, essentially for the leasing company that we're leasing the property from. What was the most interesting part about this is talking to all the different insurance companies from Geico to State Farm, Allstate, Erie, New York Life, MetLife. We talked to USAA. We talked to a lot of insurance companies, a lot of insurance agents. Everyone was like, hey, we'll get back to you. We'll get back to you. It's going to take a little while to get the actual quote and get a binder back to you. I thought it was kind of interesting it was taking so long to do that, but a lot of them had to go through their underwriters and their underwriting process with regard to our specific case in our instance. I thought it was interesting. I thought it was more of a unique challenge because we were trying to essentially, the lease started on May 1, and again, this is real time. This is not long term, but this is real time. The lease started on May 1. This is now May 2nd, and that was yesterday. And we had to get this co-insurance before we could actually get the keys to actually move into the property. So we did not anticipate it taking so long on that one day. Again, it started May 1, May 2nd, we were getting all the paperwork together. We were like, hey, it's going to take forever, and we're trying to get everything done as quick as possible, thinking it was going to be a very quick process. Long story short, we got to a point where we talked to one agent. We talked to one agent, and it was about 4:45, and we finished giving them all the information they needed about the company and what we're doing, and said, okay, yeah, so we're going to submit this to the underwriters, and we'll find out in more detail. They usually don't answer the phones close to 5 like this, so we might not hear anything until tomorrow. A little bit disappointed, but that was one of the last ones we actually saw, and we started to do more research. Well, actually, we had done some more research online and decided to find out about a new company called BiBERK. And BiBERK was something that I thought was very interesting because I had never heard of BiBERK. I could be saying the name wrong, but from what I'm going to say in terms of this concept, it's BiBERK. So we did the research and did an understanding of what BiBERK was, and it had a tremendous review. It had amazing ratings, and in having amazing ratings, we were like, okay, it can't be that good. It can't be that great. It's pretty amazing, but that's a little bit out of the region of expectation. Considering we've been on insurance calls all day long, I didn't think it was realistic. So we did continue to proceed forward. We moved forward to fill out some of the paperwork with this process of working with BiBERK. And in the process of filling out the paperwork and working with BiBERK, a call came through. And we were actually complaining about some of the people that we've been working with in this entire process. And the call came through. We answered the phone. And it sounded like the person that we were just saying, hey, they were really dragging their feet. I'm like, wait a second, who is this? And they said, hey, who they were. We're like, is this really who we think it is? Because we were just talking about you, and you were dragging your feet, so now you're calling us back. Okay, that's weird, but cool. Turns out it was the people from BiBERK. And they were saying, hey, we see you're looking for insurance. We see you're looking through the process, and we think we can help you. Are you looking to get the insurance done now? They asked a few preliminary questions. We're like, okay, if you are who you say you are, and you can do what you say you can do, then we'll work with you. So they then transferred us to the next person. The next person then came along, and they were able to see all of our documentation, all of our paperwork that we submitted so far. It wasn't that long. It wasn't that complicated. They answered a couple questions that we had, and they gave us the price quote. The price quote was about $400 for the year, for having $1 million insurance. I'm giving information because it was $1 million plus some other things that are associated with the insurance. The insurance specifically in this case was business insurance that allowed us to move into the location. That also, so it was general liability, but essentially it was the business insurance that allowed us to move into the location, but also have a co-insured, in this case, the landlord of that particular property. That was something, and there's a couple other indemnification pieces that were associated with it, but this is not workman's comp. This is not all the other kinds of insurance you could actually have when you start your business. This was literally so that we could actually move into the space. All those additional insurances we're going to get as time and necessity makes it real. But in this part of the process, we're just getting the basics up and running to make sure that we're taken care of. I say all that to say, if you look at the time in this video, it's about 5 minutes and 50 seconds. I'm giving you the context because the entire conversation with BiBERK to get the entire project done, the insurance that we took all day to do, was no more than 7 minutes from start to finish, the actual conversation. Within 7 minutes, we had the insurance, we had the email binder, we had the information that we needed for the process. The entire call was 15 minutes, and it was 15 minutes because we asked 7 minutes of additional questions to get an understanding of it can't be that easy. It can't be that simple. It can't be that complete. But it was. It was by far my best insurance experience that I've had. And it also saved us because some people that we talked to from an insurance perspective were giving us generalizations quotes. And it was about $700 for the exact same kind of insurance. But they wouldn't be able to confirm anything until the next day. So, again, not being an affiliate, I'm not making any money off of this video from BiBERK. I'm not affiliated with BiBERK at all. I'm just saying from my genuine experience from us actually having a startup that needed the insurance to move into our location, BiBERK was a tremendous solution, and they did the project less than 15 minutes. And I'm saying project, but it's just essentially getting the insurance binder for our company. They did it in less than 15 minutes. They executed it. They sent us an email. They stayed in correspondence. They said if there's any additional changes, reach out. They can make changes. Oh, by the way, we did on the next day have to have some additional changes in terms of the documentation, and they sent that information very lickety-split. So we were able to get that to the landlord and make this transaction happen pretty seamlessly without ever seeing or meeting BiBERK in person or a person from BiBERK in person. The only thing we did was actually speak to them over the phone, and they were a tremendous help, a tremendous asset. If I were a startup today trying to get insurance, whether it be workers' comp or just general liability insurance, I would definitely recommend BiBERK. I'm going to put a link in this so that people can actually see more about what I'm saying with regard to BiBERK. You can check it out for yourself. Don't take my opinion. Take a look. It'll probably save you some time and money, and you'll be shocked. I was shocked. I was totally astonished. I was like, they don't even have ads. I'm used to 15 minutes or less, 15% or more from Geico, and State Farm, you're in good hands, or you're in good hands with Allstate, State Farm. I don't know what their commercials are. I think it's Jake from State Farm. I'm used to all these commercials, and those commercials are grim. You're in good hands. I love all the commercials. However, I'm buying my insurance from BiBERK. That's it.